So yeah, this presentation is called the Three Horizons, and I will explain why. It all started with this paper we produced in 2020, and we as then Building Smart. And nowadays it's downloaded more than 35,000 times, and it's referred to by many peers. And although it was in 2020, it's still actual. And it's focusing on the buzzwords. So digital twin in those days, and nowadays still it's kind of a buzzword. But it was describing the way we as Building Smart wanted to adopt digital twins as the next step in our BIM journey.
Speak closer to the microphone.
Closer to the microphone, yeah, sure. Better? Or not? Yeah, better? Okay. So it's the next step towards our, in our BIM journey. And I will take you on the trip that we, on the journey that we went on. So, like I said, we started in 2020, and then we produced this white paper. And since then, nationally and internationally, standards were already adopting in the Building Smart environment. Open standards, federated models, well, you've heard enough about them today, but we were in the journey together with you. And to accelerate the discussion, we founded a digital twin strategic working group. And the reason that I'm here today is that I want to involve you in our strategic working group, because what I see is that we as a community in this kind of in these conferences, we all know where to go to, but there's a rest of the world that does not know where to go to. So we need you in our think tank. In Rome, that was I think 3 months ago, we produced this Three Horizons approach, and in our next summit in Norway, in another 3 months, we will present the outcomes of the steps that we are taking now. So what's the Three Horizon approach? Well, we know where we are today, and well, most of us, and I've seen enough today that to know that we have a future vision where to go to, but the transition towards that vision is very unclear. So how do we get there? And that I think that we should walk on that path together. So if you take a look at Horizon 1, at the World Economic Forum in January this year, we saw a lot of challenges. So it's about global instability, labor shortage, high inflation rates. And now we need to translate those into the environmental social governance, and a lot of green deals in Europe are already the tons are already spent there. Digitalization is a very important topic to increase productivity. So those are the needs that we are challenging. On the other hand, we see a lot of hurdles to overcome, and one of them is the lack of awareness. We as Building Smart have five of those topics addressed. One is the lack of awareness. So not everybody except us is aware of that we should proceed with the development of digital twins. The other one is the complexity of digital twins. So it's already difficult to apply logical BIM models and to exchange information about BIM. And we are still thinking in silos. That's what I've heard today as well. So digital twins are quite complex. The third thing is data integration. What we see now is that a lot of software vendors are offering us common data environments and software tooling that is not always, that doesn't always have an integrated approach. The fourth is customer value. I think that's the most important thing. So without a business case, there's no need to develop a digital twin. And I really like the approach of the harbor. Well, in the Netherlands, we see that the harbor of Rotterdam is going towards digital twins as well. So I really like this business approach of digital twins here in Belgium as well. And of course, we have a lot of security awareness. After January 24th last year, when the Russians attacked Ukraine, we saw a lot of attacks on our infrastructure as well, on our digital infrastructure in the Western world. So that is, of course, not only that is a big problem, but I think we should take that in consideration. So, like I said, we are now on Horizon 1. We are preparing ourselves, and we are going towards the future together. And we need a strong cooperation in the industry. I will take you on a journey that I did in TNO, but I will come to that later. So we have a vision about Horizon 3 as well. And Horizon 2, that is, like I just mentioned, the transition phase that we are in now. And so, yeah, this is a call for action. We really need you to cooperate with us in building smart. And what we see is that Horizon 3 is not only one big or lots of big digital twins, but it's more an ecosystem. I've heard that before in the previous presentations as well. So it's about focused on the outcomes. It's system-based, and yeah, it's really about community. Like I said, we need to have added value for the customers. Okay, now so I'm switching heads from building smart to TNO now, because I didn't introduce myself, but I've been working since 4 years now at TNO. It's the Netherlands Organization for Applied Scientific Research. I am the business developer digitalization in the built environment. And almost half a day, a week or so, I'm involved in Building Smart International, a non-profit organization, and I'm their chair and board member of the Benelux organization and co-chair of the International Building Room. What we see is a lot of societal challenges, especially in the Netherlands. We have a big renovation challenge. There are roughly it says 53,000 bridges and viaducts, and we don't know what the expectation is about their lifespan. And we have a heavy energy transition of the existing construction. We have an ambition that all homes are CO2 neutral in 2050. And we have a big renovation task. In the Netherlands, our government says that we have to build 1,000 buildings a day. Well, okay, that's a really heavy load on our shoulders. And everybody thinks that digitalization can be very beneficial there. So why are we doing that? So why do we need to optimize at the construction and network level? Because I said it's a network, it's an ecosystem. Well, we want to know everything about our infrastructure. We want to know the sustainability, the disruption it's causing, and of course, the costs that are implied when renovating the infrastructure. And for buildings, we want to know the energy consumption. We want to balance that. This morning, I jumped in a workshop about flex, and yeah, well, I think that's very well. Digital twins and digitalization can be very beneficial in helping to flex the energy needs of buildings as well. And of course, we want to live in healthy living. So in the area that I'm working in, what we see is that we have smart metering systems, so sensoring and actuators. We do asset lifecycle information modeling, so that's more like ontologies and the semantics of our data. And then, of course, I've got very bright colleagues who are capable of developing artificial intelligence and machine learning. And when it all comes together, we call that predictive twins, or some people say digital twins for predictive maintenance or so. But well, predictive twins is something that we, well, it sounds nice. So what we see is, I already mentioned BIM. So as we can see here, we are used to BIM models, to have BIM models in our daily life. And so we have buildings, but we have infrastructure and waterways where BIM plays a significant role. And BIM is then building information modeling. But now we are going towards building information management. And this is already something that I'm borrowing since 2014, this image, but it's still what it is. We see that more and more companies and organizations are going to cooperate with each other during the total lifespan of an asset. And well, back in those days, we thought that we should have one big BIM model. But well, I can assure you there's no such thing as one holy grail BIM model. It's all an aggregation of models. So what we see here in this real life example of Ballas Nedam, we have a big construction with several unique models, so aspect models as we call them in the BIM world, and together they are forming an ecosystem of BIM models. And in that cooperation, well, you see the total life cycle. Yeah, here. So we go from programming to design and engineering, realization and management and maintaining and operating, and of course demolition. Well, not demolition anymore. It's now deconstruction, so we can reuse it. Speaking about a circular economy, so that's what we are thinking now as well. And collaboration is still very important, and that is where the digital twin from our perspective comes in as well, because there's not only BIM information, but we have much more information. We have dynamic data, like I said, sensoring, actuators. So this is a real life example that we're doing. It's from Brienenoordbrug in Rotterdam. So we are measuring the weather data. We are measuring thermal expansion. So it's over 4 million data points per hour, 300 data points per hour per lane. We are measuring traffic. We do a load map of the total infrastructure, and all that together we combine, and then we expect that we will have a network of predictive twins of that built environment on asset level, on construction level, and even on a network level. So we say a predictive twin is a digital replica of the physical twin. It assesses the current situation, it makes predictions, and it learns from those predictions and the interaction. And well, up to a certain level, maybe it can decide on its own. But that's a little bit scary sometimes, but it's going into that direction. And what we need for that is three basic elements. We need information and measuring data. So BIM is there, plays a very important role, building information modeling and management. We need physical models. So now I've got colleagues who are capable of saying how or declaring how long the construction can still be relied on, but sometimes the development of those physical models can take a year or so, and combining that with all the other information, we can we can decrease that to maybe a month or 1.5 months. So that will really help us in our renovation challenge. And of course, we need to simulate and decide. So to do the predictions, to calculate certain scenarios. We are not doing that only in the infrastructure world. We do that in the buildings as well. And maybe you've seen this already, but Wouter Bosboom, my colleague, is in the back. He is in this little movie.
Area wil woningen aanbieden die naast betaalbaar ook duurzaam zijn. Maar steeds vaker lopen we er tegenaan dat het elektriciteitsnet vrijwel vol is. En de woningen met zonnepanelen niet meer kunnen worden aangesloten op het net. In dit project met TNO gebruiken we deze zonne-energie zoveel mogelijk in de wijk zelf.
Om zonne-energie zoveel mogelijk in de wijk te benutten, ontwikkelen we binnen TNO een zogeheten digital twin. Dat is een digitale tweelingboer van het appartementencomplex, waarbij we de gebruiksdata uit de woningen benutten om de digital twin te voeden. Met behulp van sensoren in de woning en kunstmatige intelligentie is per huis keurig de energie te voorspellen en vervolgens te verschuiven om zoveel mogelijk zonne-energie lokaal te gebruiken.
Prettig, betaalbaar en duurzaam wonen is voor Henry Schopmans het uitgangspunt. Wat het uitdrukking toont in dit energie-neutraal gebouw. Alle gegevens van het gebouw staan in een BIM-model, waardoor TNO hier eenvoudig een digital twin van kan maken. Samen monitoren we de woningen en met de opgedane kennis verbeteren we onze concepten.
Met onze nieuwe warmtepomp kunnen we de levering van warmte verschuiven zonder dat het comfort van de bewoner in het geding komt. Die developer heeft daarom extra functionaliteit ontwikkeld om de data van de warmtepomp lokaal te ontsluiten naar de digital twin. In de toekomst zal deze functionaliteit beschikbaar komen in al onze warmtepompen.
Als expert op het gebied van het monitoren van en het sturen op prestaties van woningen maken we het vanuit Binex mogelijk alle data uit de woning en de daar aanwezige apparatuur te combineren. De gegevens komen samen in onze cloud-omgeving, zodat de digital twin van TNO ze kan verwerken om het energiegebruik te optimaliseren.
Onze bewoners spelen een belangrijke rol om dit project tot een succes te maken. We betrekken hen dan ook actief bij het innovatieve concept en de slimme aansturing. We werken samen met TNO en andere partners binnen het Europese project Synicia om wijken energie-neutraal te maken.
Sorry for the ones at the back. It's available on the internet as well, but it was subtitled in English. Sorry. So we wrote a position paper about it, which you can download from our website. If you want more information, you can contact me. And please remember that call for action I just made for Building Smart, going towards the second horizon. It's exactly 19 minutes and 38 seconds. So I think I'm done. Thank you.